Let's go. Pranams, namaste. Welcome everybody at home, wherever you are. Here in Gurudev's room, we will have the opportunity for a short satsang and some general meditation. Let us close our eyes. We begin with a short prayer. Feeling the presence of breath, presence of the divine, God, gurus, masters, saints of all the religions, saints and sages, bless us, protect us, guide us. O Kriya Yoga masters, bow down, try to follow as much as we can. Bow down to God Formless, beyond form, everywhere God, omnipresent God. May He bless us all. Amen. Okay, today the topic is always the same. It is all about one thing. One thing in form, and one without thing. Formless God. Spiritual path is the path of knowledge. Spiritual path is to live in a different state than ordinary people live in this world. There's a lot of struggle, there's difficulties, but spiritual people also live in the world and they behave in a different way. They walk in a different way, they talk in a different way. So, because they live as knowledge, they live as God, God who is knowledge. When we are not in knowledge, we're living in ignorance. When we live with half knowledge, we also are still confused at sometimes and sometimes not. So we have to prepare. We have to grow. This life is to grow. This life is an opportunity. Gurudev said, this life is a rare opportunity, for it may never return. So, if you want, Gurudev said that, to progress on your spiritual path, you have to bring change in your life. Try to see God in everything, he said, in difficulties and in pleasure. Now, most of the time, the ordinary people, it's when we think, when we remember situations, we all have faced them, we know how we behave. And I tell you a little story, and we can see how usually ordinary people behave. So there was this farmer, old farmer, and he had a horse. Every day he went in the fields and he cultivated his land with this horse. In the evening he brought the horse home, and somehow, unknowingly, he forgot to lock the stable. And now next morning when he came to begin the work, his daily routines, he noticed that the horse is no more there. The horse left. Now the neighbors around noticed that the horse is no more there. And so they went to the farmer, and the farmer told the news, my horse is no more there. So the farmer, the way they were, not the farmer, the neighbors said, that's bad. bad luck to you. What you will do now without a horse? You need the horse so much right now. How it shouldn't be happening this way. Right now, you need the horse to cultivate the land and all the harvest. That's really bad. The farmer was telling, let's see. Let's see. And time passed by. So next morning, the farmer went to the stable, and what he saw, to his surprise, the horse came back. And on top, the horse brought 3 more horses with it. Now the neighbor noticed it and came quickly to the farmer, and he said, "That's amazing. How could that happen? So beautiful. Now you have even more help. You can cultivate the land, 3 horses extra. Maybe you can share 1 horse with us. That's beautiful." Somebody said, "Oh, God is wonderful. I wish I had one of these horses." The farmer remained in the same state, and he said, "Okay, let's see." Time passed by. Next morning, the farmer had a family, so he had a son who helped him always in the fields and had to walk very hard. So they were thinking, now we have more horses, we can make them useful. Let's train these horses, because they were wild and untrained. And so he attempted to jump on one of these horses. And while the procedure, he fell down and he broke badly his leg. Couldn't walk anymore. He had to be carried, and he was there in the house. The farmer was there, and the neighbors came, and they said, "That's so unfortunate. We feel so sorry. What will happen now? Who will do all the work for you? Your son was so important, and the horses are there, but now you have to do all the work alone. It's so bad." I thought this young man was not careful enough, maybe. Whatever, human mind can think in many ways. And the farmer remained undisturbed, and he said, "Let's see." At some point, the next month or next week, what happened? Some officers from the army, they came into the village, and they were looking for young people, because war has started, and they needed some young people to join the army. They looked around, and when they entered the house of the farmer, saw the young man, and the young man had a broken leg. And so they didn't take him. So the young man was left behind. The neighbors came. And when the neighbors came, they were so excited and joyful with the farmer. And he said, "You're so lucky, so fortunate. They took my son. I'm sorry, but you are so lucky again. Such greatness. God must have blessed you. God must have protected you so much. I don't know, my son may never come back. What will happen? I wish my son may have happened something to him." And so on. We can imagine many other things, but the farmer said, "Let's see." And so the journey continues. It can continue endlessly. And to see the moral of the story, when we live in the life, many things happening every day, every moment, something is happening. And it's up to us the way we respond. God give us this mind, this intellect. We can decide how we go along with this life, how we cross our journey, how we cross the ocean of some birth and death. It is up to us in each one of us. So when we do our judgments, in the course of time we realize, actually, it was not true. Here the story shows us very clearly that it is very difficult actually at present to know for ordinary people if a fortune is a blessing, if a fortune is a bad luck, or is an unfortunate a bad luck. Who knows? Divinity has this life, the divinity, the play of divinity has such a complexity, such a integrated complexity that it is really difficult to know what will be the result. We don't know the past, we don't know the future. How can we make a proper judgment? This is bad, this is good. The farmer was in a different mood, different state of mind. Because when we advance in our journey, we begin to see that we really don't know with our little understanding, that we need the help of God Himself, the self within, who can guide us on this spiritual journey. The masters manifest in the form to guide us. The scriptures can guide us in many various ways. And the masters always recommend that we catch hold of the hand of the master and his teachings, so that we can make our journey easier. Life itself is trouble. No matter wherever you go, you will face these different situations. There will be some outcome that maybe seem to be fortunate, but maybe not. That which seems to be unfortunate, maybe not. So we have to change our attitudes. Life itself knows what to do, what not to do. It brings us several situations where we can learn. Mind lives in our body, and it has to grow. It has to change. It has to expand. It has to accommodate. It is not about the little ego, not about the little I. It is about we. It is about everyone in the world. And we are so narrow, and we just think about our outcomes. Then we are like business people. What will I gain? We are looking at the fruits. And when we're looking at the fruits, we're getting bind to the results. We know that scriptures, Bhagavad Gita told us that we have the right to do the actions as individuals, but not at the fruits. So if something is bringing me the fruit, if nature, the divine nature is bringing me all the fruits, and I am producing the fruits, not I am just an instrument, then why shall I judge the complexity of this infinite vast nature? We know not even what we had for lunch last week. Who can we remember now? How can we remember? And what is now the cause of my problem? Or maybe there is no problem. A spiritual seeker has a positive outlook, at least a positive outlook, looking always for the good. And when we grow in our spiritual journey, we will have a different outlook. For example, if you see, I don't know if you can see this, a bottle here. What you see, it's up to you. The way you measure, that will be your result. And that will be your life. That will be your experience. For a moment, you can think what you see. You see this bottle. In this bottle is some water. And so some may think, okay, this bottle is half full of water. Some see this bottle is half empty. Different approach. One who says the bottle is full, half full of water has a positive approach. One who sees this bottle is half empty has a negative approach. But there's a different outlook. Yogi looks at this bottle in a different way. He sees that the bottle is full. You may think, why the bottle is full? I see there's only half water or less, half empty in there. So this bottle is full because the yogi sees there's water and there's air. So the bottle is full. When we practice Kriya, we have to change our attitudes. The Master Gurudev has told, we shall see God in all. If you cannot see God in all, you cannot realize God in all. If you do not change the way you live your daily activities, how can you ever perceive the divinity? Ordinary people are so engrossed and busy with the fruits, busy with the outcome, worried about the outcome. So that reflects an extrovert stage. But Gurudev said we have to bring balance in our life. We have to be calmly active. Calmly active means balance in your life. If you're not calmly active, then you're in a different state. You're in a restless, active state. Restlessness can lead to extrovert state. You're connected with the senses, and naturally we forget that everywhere is the presence of God. We cannot perceive the presence of God. When we are calmly active, as Gurudev said, then we begin to feel the divine presence within us first. That is a condition. If you cannot feel the presence of God, Gurudev said, we have to cultivate the body land. Not just the farmer has to cultivate the body land or the farmland. You has also a farmland. This body is a farmland, a kshetra, a field in the Bhagavad Gita. It's said that this body is a field, 13th chapter. So we have to cultivate the body land. If you don't feel the presence of God, you have to cultivate the body land. But simply the beginning to feel the presence of God is the gross breath. To cultivate the body land, the foundation is the breath. Everything begins with the breath. God himself is the breath. Guru is the breath. Scriptures telling that God is the breath. Vayu Pratyaksha Devata. Vayu, the air, the breath, is the direct perception of God. So the breath is the means we are born by breath. And Gurudev said, your breath is my presence. We begin to watch the breath. The gross breath, when we watch our external breath, slowly it leads us to the internal breath. We transform our consciousness, our extrovert consciousness, our body consciousness, into the inner consciousness, and we begin to feel the super consciousness state. Then we feel the divinity, the calmness leads to divinity. Calmliness is godliness, Gurudev said. First, you have to be calm. When you're restless, you're so distracted, you cannot maintain that state of divinity in your daily activities. And that's why it is so important to practice the breath awareness in your daily life. The breath, like Gurudev said, gives you all kinds of modifications. Breath is the life. Ayu Vayu, Gurudev said. Ayu is life, Vayu the breath. Breath is your life. And he said, there are 49 types of breath. They give you all kinds of modifications. When you extrovert, you also breathe, but a different type of breath. When you're sexually active, you are breathing a different type of breath. When we are angry, we breathe a different type of breath. So breath is always the foundation of life. No one can live without breath. Even the stones are breathing, the sets are breathing, the body is breathing, everything is breathing. So following the path of breath will lead us back to God formless and to beyond form. So a calm breath gives a different result. When you're calmly active, how you feel? You're more undisturbed. And here in the story, the farmer, if you remember, he was facing all the different situations. It doesn't mean spiritual life is not to live in the world. Gurudev said there's no non-God in the world. Everywhere is the marvelous power of God. But you cannot realize it if you're not balanced. It's impossible. You have to bring balance in your life through cultivating your breath, not just watching the breath. Watching the breath, you can watch a long, deep breath, you can watch a shallow breath, you can watch a breath that brings you anxiety, a breath that brings you agitation, anger. The breath has different modifications, and you can know it by practicing watching the breath. But now when you advance, why not to cultivate the breath? The breath is your life, cultivate the breath. God gave us this freedom, this discrimination to watch our breath. And so we have the choice. Like Krishna told Arjuna, you have the right in every action. But Gurudev said, what action is that? Prana Karma is doing all the action. He said, you are not the doer, the real doer. Yes, it appears in the beginning, it appears that we are the doers. And it's fine for us ordinary people, but we are destined to go further in our journey. We have to improve our practice more and more and more. We have to bring change in our lives by cultivating the breath during the activities and not just with sitting with eyes closed. If we don't do that, after meditation with eyes closed meditation, we quickly lose our attention. in the divinity. And we come down to our ordinary state and we behave like ordinary state. And finally, at some point, we remember, oh God, I forgot the breath. Then, thank God and practice again. So we have to breathe differently. That's our path. Slow, long, rhythmic breaths. At the same time, remembering the breath is my presence, means Gurudev's presence. Gurudev is formless. He's always with us. He's guiding us. And slowly, when we are more in balance, we can begin to feel the divine presence for moments and moments in our life. Of course, the journey is never, never straight. We need that proper understanding. What the Master told us, with knowledge, when you're well educated, you can proceed your difficult journey in a cheerful mood, in an even mood, in a balanced mood. And the farmer was like that. No matter what is happening, difficult situation, easy, happy situations, lucky situations, I will not be disturbed in my stableness. I don't need to be excited for the material things. I will get them, and I know they will also go. They will go naturally. This world is impermanent. The world of pleasure, the world of senses, they naturally can never stay for a long time. Everything has an end in this world. Look carefully around. You will always see the same truth. There's only one truth in this sense world, that everything is born, everything lives, everything grows, everything decays, and everything will die. But gurus remind us, don't waste your time. Live in the world with all the pressures and whatever you have, but focus only on the one thing that lasts forever. God. Behind the form, Gurudev was doing like that. Well, Guruji also. There's the visible and there's the invisible. You have to focus on the invisible counterpart of everything. And you go to the beach, you have to live in this world with knowledge. You look at the waves, practically you see the waves, all right. But what is your attitude? Are you lost? Are you live with knowledge? You see the waves, you see the ocean. What you see? Those who just see the waves are completely lost in the diversity. The wave appears to be there for some time, but when we live in real knowledge, we always see the wave is just an appearance of the ocean. It is nothing else than the water. So ocean and wave are the one. Form, whatever you see behind is what? Form, the God, the self. It is all. And God is the diversity. Everything appears to be different, but all is made from the same material, same presence of God. Therefore, whatever you see, it is God. Whatever you see is the presence of God. In form and in deep meditation, when you go deep inside, you feel only the divinity, and when you go much beyond, you will see that God and wave are one, and have been one, and everything is God. So we have to cultivate this breath. The means is the practice. We practice breath regulation, rhythmic breath, slow, long, deep breath. The breath is your life. Ayu, vayu. If you breathe rhythmic, what is the consequence? Because Kriya Yoga is science, whatever we do, we reap as we breathe slowly, rhythmic, equal in breath length. What is the result? Rhythmic life. Rhythmic life, balanced life. When breath and inhalation and exhalation is in rhythm, there will be peace, there will be calmness, there will be clarity. It is a different nature. When the breath is restless and shallow, what is the result? Anxiety, disease, tension, tiredness. All these are the indicators what type of breath you are breathing. But we live only in the presence, remember. And when we are in the presence, this is the only opportunity we have. You can change your breath in this very moment. When you are at home now you have only this only breath. It's up to you again. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. At the same time, remembering, oh God, you. It's not just mechanically. Kriya Yoga is a synthesis of Tapa, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhanani, Kriya Yoga. Ishvara Pranidhanani, gratitude, oh God, you are breathing in me. It's a different attitude than just doing pranayama on your own. That is related to restless mind, rajasic mind. When you're sattvic, you're more calm and balanced, there's a different attitude. Oh God, it is for you. It will have a different outcome. So practice with gratitude. Ishvara Pranidhanani. Oh God, you give me this breath. Now I have the opportunity to change that breath. Then you do tapa. Tapa is the breath regulation. Tapa is to take slow, long, deep, rhythmic breaths. And then you do it according to your capacity. Everybody breathes and practice with a different mood. Every day is different. So practice with love, practice not looking at the result. Only practicing because the master has told, practice because it is for God only. The breath is His glory. The breath is His manifestation. He is revealing Himself. He gave you the memory because of you're calmly active. When you're calm, you can remember God in everything. It's not your memory. In 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita, it is said, with God, I am your memory and I am your loss of memory. Right? So you should be grateful for every thought. Gurudev said, if you can remember every breath and every situation, be thankful to God. Not like these ordinary people. They would say, okay, I forgot my breath all the time. I never will be there. I'm always distracted. All these negative thoughts. Let them alone. But now, breathe slow, long, deep breaths with cheerfulness. I am blessed. I can remember this breath. I don't know how long I will remember the breath. I don't know, because that is not my authority. God is allowing me to breathe one breath at a time. for him to make it slow, long, deep, and rhythmic. So that needs training, but if you don't change your breath, your life can change quickly. No matter how many books we read, how many theories we hear, it is only in the practice that you will change your life, and breath is the foundation. You're born by breath, and you will die after the breath. God doesn't pull another breath. This life, this body is finished. So when we are calmly active through the external breath, it leads to the internal breath. It will be slowly a feeble breath. And in feeble breath, we can go deeper and deeper into meditation and be realizing our true nature more and more, that I am God and human being. And then we meditate and enter a state beyond creation. And when we come back, we open our eyes, wherever we see, we will see that God is everywhere in all the names and forms. He is only there. So until we are not there, we have to be grateful whatever we get. We can change, make breath slow, long, rhythmic, do your duties, not looking at the fruits. That gives you more peace and more time to contemplate on other things. So just remember Gurudev more and more in our life. Just remember Guruji more and more in our life, his teachings, the teaching of God, who spoke to them, who wrote to them. Now we have a short meditation. Make yourself comfortable. I invite you to stay if you want. Find your place. Closing your eyes. We pray to God, to the inner self, to the pure awareness inside this body temple. O God, O Guru, O Universal Gurus, you have given me this opportunity now to meditate with you. Help me to meditate. I don't know how to meditate. Help me to feel thy presence in every breath and lead me beyond breath. Om Amen. And remain with eyes closed, keeping your spine straight and focusing some attention on your external breath. Ayu Vayu, breath is your life. Feel the breath, how it goes in and how it goes coming out. Vayu Pratyaksha Devata. The breath is the perception of God. Watch this breath. And one, the presence, the physical presence. Some may feel the invisible presence of God. The invisible breath is in the body temple, pulsating, vibrating. Those who can feel, watch the inner breath, the prana, the life that flows through each cell in the body. If you don't feel, don't worry, just continue watching the breath. And slowly be bringing our attention more inside, raising the attention between the two eyebrows. Concentrate attention there, watching breath, internal breath, outer breath, at the presence of breath. Whatever you perceive, watch. No expectations. Always bring back your mind to the breath. If the mind is running into the past or future, bring it back to the breath. Divinity between the two eyebrows. One breath is one opportunity. Never comes back. Slowly we begin to feel some calmness in the body. The more calmness you feel, the more divinity is revealed. Be grateful. Now we're changing the breath. We go from normal breath to slower breath, rhythmic breath. Deep breath. And we try comfortably to breathe out slowly and rhythmically. Inhaling rhythmically, exhaling rhythmically. Sit comfortable between the two eyebrows. Remain there. We begin. I will guide through this process for some time. You will watch rhythmic breaths. Let us begin. Please exhale, slow, long, deep. Thanking God. Again, inhale deep. Om God. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Thanking God. Again, inhale, slow, long, deep. Om God. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Om peace. Again, inhale deep. Om God. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Om peace. Inhale deep. Om peace. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Thank God. Inhale deep. Oh God. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Om peace. Inhale, slow, long, deep. Thanking God. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Om peace. Inhale, slow, long, deep. Thank God. Exhale, deep. Thank God. Inhale, rhythmic deep. Om peace. Again, exhale, slow, long, deep. Thanking God. Inhale, deep. Om peace. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Thank God. And inhale, rhythmic deep. Om peace. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Thank God. Inhale, deep. Thanking God. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Om peace. Inhale again deep. Om peace. Exhale deep. Om peace. Inhale deep in. Om God. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Thanking God. Again, inhale, slow, long, deep. Thanking God. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Om peace. Inhale, slow, long, deep. Om peace. Exhale, deep. Om peace. One more time. Inhale, slow, long, deep. Om peace. Then exhale, slow, long, deep. Normal breath. Conscious breath. We will meditate now for some time. Silent meditation means there's no technique. No need to watch the breath. Everything leave alone. Sit comfortable and focus in the inner space. Inside your head, you may see vast space, an empty sky, formless state. Observing there. In the witness state, meditate silently. Whatever comes, let it go. Stay in the inner space. Meditate for some time. Witness state and even beyond. And some calmness, some peace, whatever you perceive. Saying God, watching the breath. Every breath is an opportunity. Past is past. Every breath is new. Watch the breath. Guruji reminded us, every breath is a prayer, silent prayer. Wherever you go, watch your breath. You pray to God and Gurus, masters, to God within and God everywhere. O Master of the universe, O Creator of the universe, you are the real farmer who breathes in all of us, silently detached, watching us in this divine play. Give us the strength to watch the breath for you only. Remove our selfishness, our ignorant state, and manifest thy divine light in us. Help me to see thy presence everywhere, in names and forms, in all the waves. There's only presence of God, the waves of creation. Help me to remain undisturbed and balanced at thy divine feet. You are the magnet of my life. Life is a gift. Every moment is only an opportunity, and make me free from wasting my time in judging this life. I don't know what is good and what is bad because of my narrow mind, my selfishness. How can I see? Help me. Reveal thyself. Reveal thyself. Om. Amen. May God and Gurus always bless you. Practice breath. Breath is practical wherever you go. In the busy world, you have to breathe. Without breath, no work. Work is worship. Remember Gurudev, remember Guruji, all the masters. Om Amen. Namaste.